Okay.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to THL's Salty Saturdays. I'm Viride, and joined with me is the King of Cleveland, Cassidy himself. How you doing,
What's
Cassidy?
up, guys?
And we've got a guest host on tonight because one of our current hosts is going to be playing Game 1. So with us is the Super Sam, the one and only. Yeah, how's it going, Sam?
It's good. Very
It's going
good.
pretty well?
Excited.
Have you had your match this week yet?
Yes, I did.
Who did you play?
I played this guy, this other.
Oh,
host
that's
right.
right. I forgot. Oh, excuse me. That's right. I remember that in Tavern Talk. The hype. Oh, that's a little sore. We've got okay. But I hear it was a really close match.
I accidentally clicked Warrior in the class selection and bit me in the ass.
Nearly reverse swept the Warrior.
Yeah,
nearly.
Yep. Warrior's an
Good games,
interesting
though.
class, but yeah, that's Cassidy. He's got you've got priest and not priest, paladin, druid. You've got some warrior kind of poison in your lineup.
Yeah, he managed to pull out against the Mech Mage in Game 5 after those two classes beat it.
Oof, so close.
Was a close one though. Good
Yeah,
game.
Tonight we have we got a great lineup tonight. We got our very own HertzDonut of Archon Storm. Also a caster. He'll be joining us after his match, and he's going up against Xynergy's Gideoneko. This is, again, of course, the Turf Wars. So this is a rematch of the Championship Series, and right now, Xynergy and Archon Storm are tightly locked in a 1-1 tie.
Oh, baby.
Yep, and then we've got Mange from Cassidy's Team Rank 5, the boys at Team Rank 5 representing. Against Killajive, the captain of the Angry Chicken Fan Club. So that's captain on captain right there.
Yes, it is.
That's a great match coming up second in the lineup. And then we're going to close out with a pair of number ones, Alec GW Podcast from Noob Central against Comp representing the Dream Team. So some great matches. Are you guys excited?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Very excited. I haven't been here in a couple weeks for Salty Saturday, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, we missed you last week. We had some Paladin
Had some
games.
great games, too. Some great players on stream.
Yeah.
And the Sam guy, who's not very good, but he played on stream, too.
I mean,
guess
he just had your typical imp, 15 damage, lethal combo. Those imps, pretty dangerous.
Well, nobody was rooting for me.
Felt
bad. I pulled it out in the end, though. The casters, I rewatched it. You guys weren't rooting for me.
Oh, we were. We try to stay as unbiased as we can, but I mean, we basically root for the fun decks and good games. But yeah,
That last game, though, huh?
That was pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good one. Well, we're gonna jump into our first game already. We've got HertzDonut against Gideoneko. So they're going to be going into their bands right now. Let me go over their lineups really quick. HertzDonut's bringing Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Warlock, and Gideoneko's bringing Hunter, Druid, Paladin, Warlock. So really similar lineups. Sam, right off the bat, any sort of with regard to their lineups, do you see an obvious ban or?
I think Gideoneko's banning Druid, and Hertz is probably going to ban Warlock because it's got the most flexibility.
Well, we're jumping in right now, and it looks like you got them mixed up. Hertz banned the Druid, and Gideoneko banned the Warlock.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
So those are the two classes gone. So now each player will have to win. To win the series, HertzDonut will have to win with Mage, Paladin, and Hunter, and Gideoneko will have to win with Paladin, Warlock, and Hunter. So we'll have 2 Hunters, 2 Paladins, and then a Mage and a Warlock.
Interesting that Hertz banned the Druid. I think his lineup is actually... It can be played in a fashion that all 4 of his classes have an archetype that just does really well in the Druid matchup.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I thought the reverse was going to happen, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Dan now that the Warlock is banned, Dan is generally a handlock player.
Okay.
So he's shying away from the druid. He may be bringing freeze mage, so the druid is troublesome for the freeze mage. But yeah, hunter and paladin are generally very favored.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking at Gideoneko's ban, what do you think he's trying to cut out with the warlock?
He's probably just afraid of the overall flexibility of the class.
Right.
I think warlock, paladin does very well against it. Depending on the hunter and the warlock, it can go either way. But then druid generally struggles against like a zoo or a handlock. So I think he's just kind of taking away the flexibility there and forcing Hertz to play very certain archetypes that he can more game plan toward.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Well, right off the bat, we see that Dan queues into paladin and Gideon goes with hunter.
Because of that King's Alec there and the Quartermaster, these are both mid-range versions of the deck, so we're not going to see an aggro hunter or a secret paladin here, I don't think.
This is a pretty fun matchup, actually.
Yeah. This is a really good hand from Gideon. Would you keep everything? Oh wow, we see a Kazan right off the bat.
Oh boy.
Dan throws everything back, and he's rewarded. He gets some flexibility. As our paladin expert, Cassidy, do you want to go into this matchup a bit?
Yeah, so cards like Zombie Chow and Minibot are really the swing cards, and we see Hertz with Minibot. Muster for Battle's kind of shaky just because of Unleash and Juggler, which Gideon has both of as well. So if Dan does get greedy with like a turn 3 Muster, he'll get punished. Consecration's a good card. Knife Juggler plus Muster in like the mid to late game can be much more valuable than it is early on. But it looks like if Dan goes for a coin here, he may struggle later on in the game. So he's going to coin out the Minibot.
Okay.
I think I'd probably do the same here. Just against anything that Hunter can bring up against me, right? Like
yeah,
Minibot
that makes sense.
Cleans up.
Sorry, continue.
Just Minibot cleans up. Again, this is probably the best 2-drop in response to Minibot.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Gideon was able to top deck that creeper, and that's gonna definitely challenge this Minibot, making that divine shield a lot less valuable.
I like a hero power here if I'm Hertz, but he may elect to go for the Juggler just to get more power on the board.
Well, popping the spider means he probably won't drop the Juggler because it gets the even trade.
I do like popping the spider because of just playing around the Juggler. Exactly.
Yeah, typically seeing a coined out Haunted Creeper is kind of a sign that you're going to see a Juggler follow up.
Right.
He didn't coin out the Haunted Creeper. The Minibot was coined out.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Well, Gideon really doesn't have a play here. The secret's not super strong, and I guess he's going to go with this. This plays really hard into the muster, though. I wouldn't say. I guess he doesn't have much of a choice.
This is an easy muster.
My question is this, and I'm not much of a hunter player, but like generally when I'm playing a slower hunter deck and I'm playing against a paladin, I like to actually hold the Juggler for the Unleash specifically.
Yes.
Is that kind of the idea? Like that's such a swing turn. Maybe, yeah.
I think his thinking is that he can use Unleash in a later turn, like coming up, and so he'll be able to clean off this muster, or the muster will just clean itself off on the first half of his Shredder. And so, like, I think in a way he was kind of baiting it out so that it didn't come out later in the game.
When, let's say, there was a Knife Juggler in play.
Yeah, or a Quartermaster to follow up.
Exactly.
So, Dan top decks the Pilot Shredder. What do you think he's contemplating here?
I think I'm liking just dropping the Shredder going all face. Obviously, I'd probably leave the weapon charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because dealing with hounds, dealing with spiders, such and such.
To answer your question, I think he was contemplating a Knife Juggler and a Hero Power. After not seeing Unleash that turn, he was going to try to maybe get greedy and then drop a Quartermaster right on 5. But I definitely like this line of play a lot more.
Gideon's going to be forced into an Unleash here, probably. Don't you? Like,
yes. Unleash, and he'll probably arm the Freezing Trap to hit the Shredder.
Right, and that's a pretty strong play.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like he has to deny the Quartermaster. And if he can take the tempo away with the Shredder Freeze, that's pretty strong. So it looks like that's what we're seeing here. And he will, of course, trade these, at least taking out all the 1/1s.
And as powerful as Lotheb is on turn 5 for Hertz, Gideon definitely is going to take a lead and then continue to do so with his Ela Houndmaster the following turn.
Right.
Oh, Sludge Belcher's a great pickup.
Sludge Belcher's a great top deck here. Hertz can pop the secret. He can also just knock off the dog and play the Belcher, and that leaves the Shredder kind of unable to beat the Belcher. And it looks like we'll see that. He tests, I guess, for
Snake Trap.
For snakes. Yeah.
Seeing the Shredder and seeing kind of the playstyle of Gideon so far, I would definitely assume it to be mid-range as Hertz. The question is, would you attack in with this Shredder? I guess no.
I think I would have.
Yeah,
I think I would have as well, because you don't want him to like bow this turn
Get
and
the
then
bow, sure.
give him the bow charge.
He chooses to use the owl here, which usually is something that I save for the Tyrion. That could tell that maybe he has a second owl in the deck. Maybe he's teched a little bit against other stuff, a little bit more.
And what's awkward? Well, I guess that Belcher won't be able to be played again until 7, so it will go back. If he gets that sent back to his hand, it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and yeah,
I don't like
this
this
is
play
kind of an
personally.
awkward spot. Do you trade? I guess you can't trade with the Shredder. You have to go face here with this
Yeah,
Shredder.
this line of play suggests you're trying to end the game before Tyrion comes down.
Right.
I also don't like that very much. I think I probably would have Alec and Hero Powered.
And speaking of Tyrion, he comes
He's picked
into
up.
Dan's hand. So
Okay.
Dan with an extremely powerful curve. A lot of powerful cards, but very few spells, which makes
He's got a
it
really awkward turn here, too.
Right, reacting to this board is really difficult. I probably would want to send back the Belcher, right? And then,
Yeah, more than
I agree with
likely.
this
But then
play.
you don't know when you're going to play it. Like, if you send back the Shredder, you can play it this turn, because I don't know what else you're doing this turn anyway.
well, the Shredder leaves behind some remnant of
Oh, he's trying to get the
concentration.
knife.
Oh, that's
Wow!
and then he
That
can
is
hit
a
his
heck of
face.
a
and
Shredder.
then-
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic Shredder drop, and he gets the 66% knife juggle, and he's going to be able to leave this board with a 2-drop coming out of the Shredder, which probably isn't a 4/4. It is
It's
not.
a risky play, but it ended up pulling
It
out.
worked
big time.
out, yeah, really well. He is very low on health, so Gideon may just be able to push through. Dan has no heals in his hand. This is
Ooh.
tied. Okay, and we see a second.
That is
fourth
really
time.
valuable information for Dan, too.
Yeah,
Sludge Belcher is not a very likely include in mid-range hunter. It's kind of been popping up again recently.
right.
I really don't like the Kazan here. I think you need to push hero power as much as you can.
I agree.
And also, you want to save that Kazan information as long as possible.
Yeah.
I might not even play it this game.
Right.
Keep it in hand. Keep it as a deck tech.
Well, Dan now is hitting his curve very strongly. He's got tons of powerful options. The question is 11 health going to be enough to carry him?
He needs to play a taunt this turn, I think.
Absolutely.
I think playing Dr. Boom is way too greedy, and Lotheb doesn't deny a kill command.
I think I would play the 5-mana Belcher and then tap, because the Mad Scientist is on board, and that gives us a clean way to deal with the freezing trap that's going to pop out.
Assuming it is what pops out, yeah. Wow, second scientist doesn't feel good. Missing the high mains, the Dr. Boom. A lot of the late game not showing up for Gideon here. He's going to try to pop the secret. The secret is snakes. Again,
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
now you may want to just flood the board in hero power and hope that he triggers it.
you've seen one consecration, yeah.
You're going to need to activate kill command, I think, to be able to end this game.
Right, Dan's going to want
Or
to...
get
He's
some
got to
great
put the
quick
clock
shots.
Yeah.
pressure on here. So how do you attack him first? I guess with the 1/1 to face, right? Are you going to kill the scientist as Dan? Oh, he goes
I
1/1.
wouldn't
Oh,
kill
wow.
this. Oh, wow. That's such valuable information, too. You know
So
exactly
now he knows
what
it's
secret that
snakes.
is.
The question is, do you even bother now procking? Probably not.
No.
No.
definitely not.
Yeah. So Dan's just gonna pull the trigger here. Can he set up next turn lethal? 7, 8. True
Yes,
silver
if
down to
he
12.
true
Oh yeah.
silvers.
True
I
silvers
think
next
that's
turn
the correct
lethal.
play as well.
Uh-huh. I mean, Lotheb would also give him next turn lethal and deny any sort of spell.
This gives him an extra 2 points of health.
Right, that's fair. That's totally fair. He doesn't know what that last card is. He might think it's a kill command. And speaking of which, a kill command is top decked. Can Gideon push through? What can he
No.
do here? He can kill command the 4-1. But the quartermaster is just going to end this game.
Yeah, this one is over. Dan with the really heads up secret test.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably would have done the same. Because do you really get punished? I guess an explosive trap would have been pretty bad. And Dan's going to see
I really don't like showing that either.
Yeah,
You know that you're dead on board either way. I think you just hold that in your hand because your opponent Dan is playing. He's playing Hunter and Mage, and so showing off the Kazan is actually huge.
Yep.
I feel like I've lost this game at this point, and I don't want to reveal any more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan with exact lethal with the freezing trap. Yeah, Gideon basically just showed him his Kazan. That's a pretty tip. Yeah. But I mean, regardless, it can be a tough match to play. I think I don't play either of these classes regularly, and I would say, and you guys can definitely correct me, I would say that the mid-range is generally favored there, right?
I think you can really tech your paladin deck to beat it, but I think on average the mid range does very well against it if they get their correct draws.
Right.
Aldor is a really good card against it, though BGH also deals with it very well.
Right. Sure.
It's more even than you would think, I think.
Well, I think Gideon kind of got stuck in an aggressive playstyle where he had to go face a lot of turns, where he probably kind of wanted to interact with the board a little bit more, and then Dan was able to actually draw 3 taunts, which was able to protect his life total and defend himself. So now let's try to predict what they're going to bring last time. Dan and I did an atrocious job of doing this last cast. Dan has Mage and Hunter left. What do you think Gideon's going to bring?
Oh.
And Gideon, of course, has the
Yeah.
Hunter, Paladin, Warlock left.
Yeah, Warlock seems okay here. It is going to be Handlock. And I don't know what brand... Oh, it looks like it's a hybrid or a Face Hunter from Hertz. So, of the 2 Warlock archetypes, Handlock is what you want against this type of Hunter over a Zoo, in my opinion.
I think they're both unfavored matchups, though. Hunter's always been favored against every Warlock.
Okay.
Just how it works. Your hero power does my hero power, but on your turn.
Yeah. But at least
good.
Handlock has ways to heal, so...
And he's got both taunt.
Truth.
I mean, he's got a pretty decent hand. He's got both taunt giver, like 2 taunt givers and a 4-drop. So he can get pretty defensive here. Dan keeps the curve here, and he's gonna have a very nice curve. Gideon, what is he looking? And wow, Gideon picks up the Molten Giant. So Gideon with a really strong hand against the Hunter right here. Yeah, this is going to play itself out. The question is, do you tap here or do you play the tempo Sun Fury?
I've always been a fan of the tempo Sun Fury, but I'll let Sam
I would
answer
most
that.
definitely tap here.
Okay.
Getting that extra health on the Twilight Drake, and also that Sun Fury is just so good. Like, I would even save that for the Molten Giant. Would be the main
that makes
thing.
sense.
I'd
Defender's
probably
really
use
tough to squeeze in.
Exactly. I'd use the Defender most likely on the Twilight Drake, and then the Molten Giant. Let's say he gets him down to 12, or let's say he gets him down to like 14. We might not have enough mana to play that Defender, Vargas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan's just going to play on curve here as expected. Try to sneak in as much damage as possible. Wow, Sludge
Belcher's
Belcher.
nice.
That's a really nice one. This is going to be a lot for a Face Hunter to get through. If Dan doesn't find the burn. Gideon continuing to tap, going to get a huge a huge Twilight Drake out here. Dan has the opportunity to get the Animal Companion down, or okay, well he goes with the Animal Companion. Always Huffer.
Now, do you have to Hellfire here?
He's just gonna really push face here.
Yeah, you really don't have a choice.
So at this point, Gideon dropping the, okay, yeah, dropping the Twilight Drake just would not work out very well.
Gideon's gonna need a heal bot, or he's gonna be toast.
Yeah, Dan with a lot of burn. He does need. Is probably looking for a beast to trigger that kill command, but he's still got. I mean, so much damage. He can do. I would probably push through with the weapon here.
I would probably point out the hero power as well. Yep.
Exactly. This is. You're gonna see him putting up a bunch of taunts in the next couple games, or in the next couple turns. And you're going to have to get this weapon charge through. Leper Gnome deals damage through taunts. Knife Juggler deals damage through taunts.
And is this just next turn lethal? Not quite.
No, he doesn't have
he has 6.
Yeah, Gideon will definitely... Well, I mean, if you're getting here, you Molten Giant Sludge Belcher, right?
Yes.
So Dan is on basically... Well, there's an owl. That's lethal.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely lethal. And
wow. So turn 5, the hunter getting it done.
Exactly. That's perfect.
That's just the best top tech you could have asked for.
That is the only one that could have given him lethal
as the I think the handlock. Honestly, I really am terrified to disagree with Super Sam here, but. As a handlock going up against, once you see the Worgen, you know you're going up against an extremely aggressive hunter. And it's so easy, by the way, of course.
Well, you're just hoping for a heal bot once you see that and you see your own hand.
But, yeah, I don't know if I would continue tapping. I'm more of a proponent of dropping the Sun Fury. What Super Sam, what is how would you what is your thought process behind tapping there?
In that scenario, I think that you're talking about the turn 2 tap instead of the turn 2 Sun Fury. Yeah.
Yes.
I would have saved it. Again, we were punished because we drew the second Sun Fury, but I really see like a turn 7 or a turn 6. We're at 14 health. What are we gonna do? We have to taunt up something big, right?
Right.
And that's where I see, the drop of Twilight Drake, Molten Giant, Sun Fury, and just trying to. That's how I see the game being won. The game's not won unless you get a heal bot, anyways. So, and in that game, he just didn't get the heal bot.
Sure. Well, Gideon goes back with Handlock, and Dan brings Mech Mage. To be honest, Dan, I knew he was playing around with a lot of Mage archetypes. I wasn't sure which one he was going to bring. He decides
an Echo of Medivh in it.
An Echo of Medivh. That's a really bad hand for Mech Mage, though.
Ooh, yes. At least it's consistent. 4 across the board.
Yeah, he'll have a great turn 4 at some point.
If you're Gideon, you have no idea what you're up against, so keeping this Dark Bomb was actually a decision to be made, and it's going to prove out to be the right one. But
Gideon, again, with a really strong hand. Dan is just in a really bad spot here. Echo Medivh, yeah, this is a Mech Mage. I do know the idea behind this Mech Mage. Dan was concerned with the bringing of Hunter and Mage that he would get a lot of secret hate. So he wanted a mage class that didn't have secrets.
Makes sense.
So this is a secretless mech mage.
That's an interesting call. I like that.
This makes me wonder again about banning Druid, though, because this seems like it would do really well against Druid.
Yeah, I agree. The Druid ban, yeah. I guess Dan
probably would have banned Warlock, like I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this goes. This Dark Bomb's going to be huge because... That's going to deny that Shredder, and Dan's going to need to top deck a 2 or 3 drop here to not really miss out. He does find one. So he's able to limp through the beginning stages. Not what a Mech Mage wants to do. It wants to snowball pretty hard. We see a Siphon Soul in Gideon's hand. Yeah, crazy. You don't see that card much. How do you guys like that in Handlock in this current meta?
In this meta, I actually like it because of things like Tyrion and Mysterious Challenger and all the big guys that are out there. But in this matchup, he's gonna really struggle to find time to play it.
Right, right. I mean, it could be
Ooh.
amazing though.
And he's gonna coin out the Twilight Drake here, which is gonna prevent him from playing Molten Giant or Mountain Giant for a while.
No.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to take pretty firm board control.
Unless it gets fireballed.
This is a pretty clear fireball for me.
Yeah. And I think if you're Gideon, that's something you need to look into. Is your opponent hasn't played any cards, so you know he's sitting on not good minions, and so the chances of him holding a fireball there are pretty high. And you're playing a 4 health Drake off the coin and denying your own giant in the process. And he is definitely punished for doing that.
And now he has 0 plays except for the Ancient.
Which is, yep, it'll be a tap Ancient turn. Okay, picks up Sun Fury, so at least
Picks up the Sun Fury, so there's some hope here. Dan is definitely missing the kind of hand he'd want Echo on.
Yes.
This is just, or sorry, the board. This is just a really weak board, and not even an Ancient coming down. I guess.
Well, he's going to be able to Mountain Giant next turn now, by not playing the Ancient here.
He's trying to get the Mountain Giant down. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Dan probably will just stick to curve here.
Yeah, there might be turns where you really want to deny the AoE from the Warlock. I think I would consider Shredder here.
What to do?
Actually, I think I would go with Shredder. Because there's going to be a time when you're not going to want to get Shadow Flamed, because it could cost you the game, and that's when you're going to want to play Lotheb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think,
On the other
Sam?
hand, setting up for the... I think that's very reasonable. Setting up for turn 6 is the other thing that's in his head, right?
Yeah.
He's
Right,
like,
and
this
he
is
has
5.
the turn 6 curve, right.
Like, maybe I want to get something good off this unstable portal. I do have the Echo of Medivh, so if my Lotheb lives, I'm going to be getting another Lotheb to deal with that Shadow Flame turn.
Sure.
Right. Sure. Well, this Lotheb doesn't do much to Gideon's hand, and Gideon will play down the Mountain Giant. Dan gets the top deck the Noitron,
Ooh.
and that's pretty strong.
So now you are tempted to play your Echo on this turn.
Would you?
I would be
Echo
surprised if
Shredder?
he doesn't here. I think I would definitely.
I
Echo.
do like the Echo there.
Wow. So the Echo coming out, and it looks like Dan's gonna push face. He only has the 1 fireball, but it may be. Well, I guess he's gonna get this taunt down. He top decks the Twilight Drake, so he's gonna be able to make up a huge taunt wall here. Yeah, and that's, I mean, Gideon, without the Shadow Flame or any AoE, it is not great, but a big taunt wall is second best, I guess.
I wonder if it's time to taunt yet.
Well,
Because I
You're
almost
looking at
like
8.
Mortal
Damn.
Coiling. Yeah, you're looking at 8.
they can do
I don't
9.
think your opponent can kill you.
The big thing is you haven't seen your second taunt giver, and that Molten Giant in hand is gonna.
You're gonna want to be.
You
want to
be able
that.
to play it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because having seen 1 fireball, I don't think you're worried about dying just quite yet.
Right.
I think Gideon's pretty favored right now.
Yeah, this wall is
Not
going
yet.
to really... What do you... I mean, do you flood the board? Do you fireball the taunt? What do you guys think you go here?
Probably checking this unstable portal because I have time to. You could always unstable portal the Black Knight or something crazy.
Right. Well, that Blast Mage doesn't really...
You're
clean
not wanting
things
it
up
to
too
hit
much.
face.
Yeah, definitely
That
not
was
wanting
an
to hit face.
ugly Blast Mage.
And this Sun Fury is going to be able to knock out the Annoytron, so maybe you just drop another Annoytron, try to protect your board.
I would assume he's gonna freeze one of the, probably the giant, or he's gonna. Okay, he's gonna kill the giant with his hero power
Okay.
involved.
Okay, and that leaves the Blast Mage semi-protected. Oh wow,
Oh,
boom,
oh.
top deck.
The doctor is in.
So Gideon's got all the threats he needs.
And again,
The
he
question
shouldn't
is,
be
do you-
afraid of dying yet.
Yeah, the question is, do you want to Doctor Boom here? Or you could actually have a really proactive turn with the tap into Molten Giant, setting up a closer lethal. But I think Doctor Boom's probably the better play.
We have a saying on Team Rank 5, and that saying is "Boom is green." And
Well,
Boom
looks
was
like Dan's
green
gonna
there.
start
So
looking for answers in Unstable Portal.
see what
And
he pulls.
High
Savannah
Main's
High
good.
Main is a pretty good card.
High Main's a pretty good answer. So he can. What do you? I guess you fireball the Force 5 and.
I think you have to trade in your.
Yeah, I think you have to trade, and you may freeze the Doctor Boom, and then play your High Main.
I actually don't mind playing a Noyatron in high main,
Yeah, you could do that as well.
making it so he can't deal with
he
two
was glancing
2/2s,
at the
and
fireball.
you want
but
to save
it
all your burn in this.
Yeah.
looks like he is going to go with the high main and the shredder.
I would go in
Oh, he's
Noyatron.
crossbolt. Yeah, I think Anoitron's the play here. Well, Dan gets there in the end. This Anoitron's not going to protect much. Wow, and another huge threat coming down. Man, Gideon with just a super strong start here. Dan's definitely going to have a hard time getting through all of this. That being said, there is no taunt giver.
No,
It is.
that's what we were concerned about before.
I think seeing this side from Gideon's point of view. Wow.
Wow, I really
I guess he's
don't
gonna try
know.
and kill one of the 2/2s.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. But then you
Or
set your
both of
Doctor
them,
Boom up to be
depending on
pinged.
Boom
Is there any merit to Siphon Souling this and then trading your
I
Boombots into one of the
really like
hyenas?
Siphon
You keep your
Soul.
Doctor
I
Boom
like
would
alive.
siphon here.
Yeah. I don't think you want Doctor Boom to die to a hero power. What else are you going to Siphon Soul in this deck? There you go, alright.
Okay, and now
I'm glad
he's
you
on
made
the
that
rope
play.
for the plays.
Me too.
The Boombot.
And he gets
Nice.
completely rewarded.
Yep. And that was definitely the play here. And now it's looking extremely good for Gideon. He's at a very high health total. There's no board from the mage.
Good plays produce good RNG.
So
least
Dan's
that's
now
what you
in
tell
another
yourself.
tough turn. And it looks like he's going to go with the
That is-
Fireball Ping.
That is
And
not
that's
the
gonna
winning
just-
play.
Pardon?
I don't think that's the winning play at all. I don't see yourself winning in that scenario. I see yourself
Now you
winning.
have to do 18 points of damage to a handlock without
With
any
just
fireballs.
2 crossbolts.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I probably would have Shredder Loath out there.
Well, it looks like we'll see an ET come down, and that's just going to get out of control.
Yeah, that does need to be removed, I guess.
It's really going to be hard to race this handlock when he's going to be able to drop double Mountain Giants if you hit face.
Yeah.
He's committed
What?
to it now, though.
Hertz now can play so many minions, and there is no AoE to deal with them, and there's no taunt giver. So I think I may have liked a giant there, because it's just tougher to kill off.
And then just go face with the Spider Tank, or...
Like here, I think we'll see Shredder, and we'll see both Chuggas, and then he'll freeze ET and go face, yeah.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
I don't
Or
know
just
about
go
that.
face.
I like the
Okay.
ping. But I guess he's setting up next turn lethal with this board. Oh,
Oh,
and that's
not
anymore.
stacked Steel Bot.
So,
Perhaps
double
he's
Molten.
running like Pyroblast.
We're going to see double Molten into... Oh, he misplayed a little bit. He could have gotten all 3 giants out and heal botted.
I mean, at 15 health, I'm not sure how relevant that is. But yes, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Because what else are you going to do after you play this heal bot?
That's totally true. And now the Doomsayer comes down. Nope.
Oh. Wow.
That could have happened.
Doomsayer.
Yeah, that
Would
would
have
have
been-
definitely punished him for not trading first.
Yeah, so Dan with 4 plus 7. He's got 7 damage and only has 1 Frostbolt left in the deck. So
Pyroblast.
he is dead, right? Even a top deck Pyroblast doesn't save him.
We got to see a Frost Nova here.
Yeah, not a Frost Nova. It's not the aggro mage. I guess he
If
could
you get a
find
freeze,
a freeze. He doesn't get it. So that is GG. Oh, he can
I
trade
think
off.
the right play was.
No,
he
he's
should have
dead. He's
time
oh, he can
winded.
freeze the. He can freeze the giants, which is
Yeah,
what he's gonna
Not
do.
over.
It's not over, but
Now
Yeah, it's not over. I guess he's leaving.
Well,
Oh, but the taunt giver is gonna.
No, it's over.
No.
Now, hopefully, he'll play the Mountain Giant.
It's actually funny because I was kind of making fun of your Mountain Giant play, but it's very relevant.
It was very relevant.
Yeah, and that
Oh,
was.
no, don't do it again, Gideon. Yes, okay, good job. Definitely like playing both Watchers as well. I'd probably taunt up the Mountain Giant and a Watcher. But he's going to go this way. It's not going to matter unless Dan's running Doomsayer Frost Nova.
The classic
Arcane Intellect into Doomsayer Frost Nova.
Frost Nova. So
I like
Dan's gonna
Spellslinger into Frost Nova, or Spellslinger into Mass Dispel. That'd be good.
Ooh, Master Spell.
So Gideon
Dan
takes a point, and
Go ahead,
Dan is
drop.
locked in on this Mech Mage thing, which
Yeah, and Dan had a lot of different mage decks, so I wonder how confident he is now that the surprise factor is gone. Because the idea, obviously, is to try to grab that win before he can kind of prepare the next deck. And now the fact that Gideon knows it's not a freeze mage, this mech mage may struggle. How do you guys see it matching up against what Gideon has a hunter and a paladin left. What do you guys think?
Depending on what the paladin is, I really like mid-range paladin against a mech mage list like that one.
Yeah, mid-range paladin's pretty strong. This list is, I believe, running the Fel Reavers. So mid-range paladin has the unique ability to Aldor those and win the game. So Dan may be in a bit of trouble. I think the mid-range hunter is probably not favored. I guess it depends on the start.
Because of the Annoyatrons and the Snow Chuggers?
Yeah, so I'd like to see the Paladin out of Gideon here. And he does indeed bring Paladin. We'll see if Dan gets a better start this time. He does indeed.
Ooh. Oh, man.
So we see, I mean, that is... Many bots here to contest. He's going to need a zombie chow or something as well. He doesn't get one.
Right.
I would drop the Unstable Portal, though. I don't think it's something you want in this matchup. You're going to want to play a minion every turn until the end of days.
Ooh, Keeper of Alderman. Interesting.
Job's done.
I really like that card. I think it's very good.
No turn one for Gideon. That's pretty rough to give Dan that kind of tempo. Dan has a couple options here. Personally,
I would think we'll see the double one drops are just so strong.
Yeah, I like it.
To be honest, I don't mind the Snow Chugger as well.
Now, knowing
If you
the
play
hands
Snow-
from both players, I think Snow Chugger is optimal, but I think if I were in that position... Oh, we see the zombie chow. Okay. The Paladin's
Okay,
going to
so
be
the
able to
Reebok comes
fight for
down.
this board.
Here you just ping off the shield and kill it, right?
Obviously going face with the Cogmaster first.
Right. I wonder if
I think I just watched him click wrong. No, he did. Okay.
No, he got it. He got it.
Attaboy, Dan.
So
Wow. That is a great pickup.
Yeah.
The armor plating off that, gonna let him trade evenly into this zombie chow and keep his 3-1 alive.
Yeah. So it looks like we'll probably see the Chugger down.
Yeah,
I think I
Chugger
would
and
like
then
a Frostbolt here. A Mana Worm
with the
Frostbolt.
Mana Worm.
And then-
Yeah, I can see that
And
too.
then clear his board.
Yeah. Yeah, he has double Frostbolt. I guess you can use one at this time. Like, I could see this, and it looks like Dan will go with this play.
Yeah, I like this play a lot.
Gideon will be able to curve into the Keeper of Ultimate. He has a decent enough curve to keep the Dream alive.
Yeah, but you can't keep her of
Once you get-
Alderman because you're going to buff an opponent's minion.
Right. So the question is, do you just, like, I mean, what do you do here?
You probably play the big game hunter. As awful as it feels. But
It looks
then again,
like
you're
he's
not under that much
so
pressure
easy.
yet, so Hero power is totally
decks
fine
do
too.
run Fel Reavers a lot of times, so he is going to opt not to do that and go with the hero power. That's a huge amount of tempo loss, and now now Dan can really take firm control of the board. I guess, yeah, you Unstable Portal and Belcher.
Actually,
You mean
I
Chugga?
think I like
Chug-
the Chugga hero power, but
I also like Chugga hero power here.
Okay. Because now
They
he's...
push.
now you're missing out on damage, or you're giving away your Cogmaster. Yeah.
And he's going to go with that play.
Consecrate's
Well,
gonna.
the equality is
Ooh.
top decks.
So now you want a heal bot, and you want to bait your opponent into building the board up even more for equality Consecrate down the line.
I agree. Healbot's not going to get its full value here, but I think it's the play that kind of puts in a little bit of mind games to.
Yeah,
To
and
end up
Paladin's
winning
just
this
so
game.
good at outlasting its opponent with value, and he's got so many big cards in his hand already, like Boom and Keeper and Bijou. Like, he has answers for really tough cards to deal with, and he's at 30
Right.
health.
And he's, I mean, yeah, and he's got the doctor. I mean, he's got the late game, all of it.
Yeah.
Dan is probably going to play... I mean, what do you play here as Dan? I guess you just play it on curve.
He's
Oh, he's
playing
gonna
around
try to
Consecration,
get
which is
out of
okay.
consecration range. Also push some extra damage with the Mana Worm. That makes sense. I
Mhm.
guess he won't be playing the 3 and the 4 drop. So
You could play both.
the 3 and the 2 drop?
You could play the 3 and the 4 drop.
Yeah, he could play the Spellbreaker.
Because the 4 drop is 1 mana.
But I don't think there's any way you play the Spellbreaker against a Paladin knowing that Tyrion's in his deck. That's actually a really good portal in this matchup.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing porter. Well, it looks like we're going to see the Chugger come down. And this is going to have to be a quality consecration, I'd assume, right? Because the rest of the hands just... There's no consecration here. So we will see the equality
Yeah, because you're
consecration.
going to play Dr. Boom next turn, so I like this.
And Dan's going to have to reset his board now. And he's just running out of steam. His hand's kind of weird. But he's
Oh, that was
saved.
a great draw.
Wow. All right, well, he's saved by this, but I don't know. Like, Gideon is at 23 health. Oh, but the freeze.
Ooh, wow. That's really nice.
So, yeah, that's really good.
That's amazing.
You could have
So
thought
he's-
about Peacekeeper and Coghammer there as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, you can Peacekeeper the
Wow.
Lotheb next turn.
Well, it looks like he'll be able to freeze, play the Lotheb, and push 7 damage to face.
And so, responding to that, if you're Gideon, you can set up that your Dr. Boom will be Coghammered.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
going to be so difficult to get through for the mage.
Unless they have an
Unless
unstable
they have
portal Spellbreaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't
unless
play
they have
around that.
Spellbreaker.
So Dan is going to play this Lotheb, and it's just this he's going to play this Lotheb, and it's not going to get any value, as we see Gideon has no secrets, but he will be able to. Oh wow, his own owl presents some opportunities with the
Yeah,
Dr. Boom.
I actually like his own owl a lot here. To unfreeze
Silencing
the
the
Dr.
Dr.
Boom.
Boom.
This is a play that a lot of players don't necessarily think of, so it'll be interesting to see if Gideon recognizes this as an opportunity.
I've been really impressed with Gideon's play so far. I honestly think he probably will see it.
Well, Peacekeepering
hovering over the
first, I
Althor.
think, is wrong, no matter what your line of play is here.
Because now the Coghammer is just not as
Yeah,
good.
Coghammer can hit the Peacekeeper.
Well, if you're trading off, right, with the boom, trying to kill some of his minions, maybe you don't want it to die to another one of his minions. Maybe you want to taunt up
Oh.
the Peacekeeper to protect the 7 damage.
Is there any merit to Aldemoning this bomb right here?
I love that play. I love that play. I didn't even think about it.
After watching the way the RNG went, I would have liked to see him Aldemon the bomb into a 3/3 to kill off the Spider Tank.
Oh,
So 7, 8. He's gonna Albus to 3.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Gideon recognized the ability to silence his own Dr. Boom.
Well, now
But
he's
on the
about to
other
get
hand-
wham bam by Spellbreaker. Dan's gonna be able to put him down to 10, or actually 9. The Frostbolt ping would go down 4 more, so down to 5. So really just a top decked Fireball would be lethal. I guess you owl this. Sorry, you Spellbreaker off the 7/7. and you ping the 2/1. That's kind of what I like. And then I probably would. What do you do with the Frostbolt?
I think you hold it. You don't need it yet. It's not lethal. You don't need to freeze anything just yet. Or you can freeze the Dr. Boom.
What do you think of that play, Sam?
It's interesting. It's probably not what I would have.
Oh, what a draw! Put your faith in the light.
Wow.
Well, now Dan is gonna really start to need, I guess, Pyroblast.
He got another freeze.
Dan is just not finding the cards here. He can freeze the Dr. Boone. This is rough though at this point.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You can't even get through it. So I guess you just freeze the Tyrion, or you do. I don't know.
You're gonna end up freezing the Dr. Boom and just pinging the Tyrion.
Yep.
This makes it so you can get that extra 3 damage in the ping, making Fireball still lethal.
And then you just sit.
No matter what he trades into. Yeah,
and
you just
if you're
pass
Gideon, you definitely want to trade into the Spider Tank, because you don't want to give Blast Mage any random value off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's to Dan playing Pyroblast. Oh, and another Belcher top deck.
Wow. Well, Dan's going to need to find both Fireballs and find them in a hurry.
Yeah, this Belcher is going to absolutely shut down Dan's aggression. And Gideon is just top decking perfectly. While Dan doesn't even have a mech on the board, so even a top decked Blast Mage won't even really impact the board state much. Gideon might be considering dropping this BGH. Does he have like next turn lethal even?
No. Yes, he would. If nothing died.
Annoyatron is.
Well, Annoyatron takes it
gonna
away.
just stall out the inevitable at this point.
It gives you one more turn.
Yep. His next 2 draws can be Fireballs, and he would win, because he won't die in that time.
Fireball
He has
and a
16
Frostbolt.
cards left, so he's really looking.
In
Yeah, he
this
does still have one
scenario,
Frostbolt left too, doesn't he?
I would trade the Spellbreaker and the Sludge Belcher into the... the Spellbreaker and the Loatheb into the Sludge Belcher to make it so he can't pop his own Tyrion and get a recurring 5 damage every turn.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Right, because if you're killing Tyrion, doesn't do much in terms of your defense, because it's just going to give him an Ashbringer. So, well, he might just sit again, or he might just do it. He might just run these in. It looks like he is gonna do it. All right,
he needs to stay alive as long as he can.
Dan is in dire straits here. Gideoneko, saved by a top deck Tyrion into a top deck Belcher. Looks like he's gonna be able to pull this out. He just pops this shield off, and we're gonna see. Oh, Dan won't even be able to.
Now, if you keep your slime here,
Pyroblast.
you set up lethal. So I definitely think you want to do that.
On Pyroblast.
You could also
or
do that
Freeze?
next turn.
You can, but the slime can get. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because you can. One of them won't get pinged off between the slime and the guy. Man, Mana
And
Worm's
that's
not going
like
to do it.
worst. So Gideon is going to take game 2. Or, I'm sorry, he's going to come back with 2 wins, and we are tied at 2-2. Gideon left with Hunter, Dan on the Mech Mage, which is definitely falling a bit on its face. I haven't seen a lot of Mech Mage on ladder. Sam, would you say that's because the deck has gotten weaker, or the meta? I mean, how would you interpret that?
Reno Jackson has stomped the life out of Mech Mage. Also, a lot of Tempo Mages aren't very good right now because Reno Jackson has just destroyed them. Their whole way of winning has just... When 50% of the decks on ladder have 60 health, you don't win. when you only have 18 points of burst.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's an interesting ladder out there.
So we'll now see Druid against the Mech Mage, correct?
It's Hunter.
Hunter.
Dan,
oh, that's right. The mid-range Hunter.
the druid got banned, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yep, so it's going to be the mid-range hunter. I think this is probably the deck that's potentially weakest to the mech mage. But mid-range hunter, like, I don't know, Animal Companion is a really strong card, and the bow is extremely, like, efficient. So if it weathers that early start, and if the mech mage draws bad, and this mech mage certainly has been, like, it just doesn't seem to get the ball rolling. We've only seen one Warper in 2 games. So the other thing is this, like, after seeing 2 games and no mad scientists and no secrets, Gideon probably won't even keep a Kazan. The Kazan just doesn't look like it'll be even that great. Well, both players with some early
Very good
drops.
hands.
We do see a quick shot. Yeah, Dan will have the early pressure this time. But that's
is high main worth being kept here if you're the hunter, Sam?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you're keeping the owl, the haunted creeper, the quick shot. You're gonna try and
Kazan Mystic, but Dan is not running secrets.
Right.
Feels bad, man.
And that was the idea of this deck, and I think since he saw the Kazan, but we see a Belcher, man.
This early haunted creeper is going to get a ton of value too.
Yep, absolutely.
You have to coin it out because you're hoping to quick shot
Absolutely.
either a Mech Warper or a Snow Chugger next turn.
Mhm. On the other hand, you get utterly destroyed by an Anoyatron.
You do, indeed.
Well, we see it. We see it come out with the coin, and it looks like it's a Snow Chugger or turn. Probably just get the Snow Chugger out here, huh?
I might Cogmaster. I think I would probably Cogmaster Clockwork Gnome here.
I can definitely see merit for that.
The other thing is getting the Snow Chugger out there before he has a chance to play his weapon is also very strong. Both plays are strong. I'd like to see what he thinks.
Yeah, I think he's probably considering that as also, like, I mean, you have to go face here.
Yeah, you don't want to give him little dudes that kill your little dudes.
Well, it looks like he will go with the ones.
I like this
after
play a
some
lot.
deliberation. And will he trade?
You don't trade here.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to go face. He's going to try to adopt the hunter lifestyle. And
Awkward
right
hand.
here, Gideon cannot unleash. So it looks like quick shot or freezing is his only options.
Picking up the freezing, I like quick shotting the cog. No, never mind. Yeah, no, I do. I like quick shotting the cog.
I'd quick shot the cog here.
Because you can clear off the other gnome next turn no matter what. And then you can freeze whatever comes down.
So the quick
Hertz is
shot
going to run out of
comes
steam
down
pretty early. He needs to
defensively.
draw
Hertz
his mid-game.
super out of steam. Absolutely. Well, he finds the
gonna
blast
help.
mage, and that's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help.
That's going to help out a lot.
I would taunt up the Snow Chugger here as well.
Yes, I would too.
And it looks like he's gonna see that play, and he's gonna push more face damage. He has the fireball. He's got the turn, but the high main, the almighty high main, already.
Unleash is also a full clear here.
I think we'll definitely see an unleash. There's absolutely nothing for Gideon to do here. The freezing trap, it just is awful. So it's gonna be an unleash and a full clear.
Because you can Kazan next turn, which isn't strong, but it's also not the end of the world when your opponent has 2 cards in his hand.
If he just drops the Blast Mage here, I might just freezing trap Hero Power.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to see the Anoyatron. Definitely. Yep.
Retron, Hero Power. And Dan's looking for that Blast Mage, but he's going to be hitting the Belcher soon. I think if you're Gideon, you definitely just drop this Kazan on curve.
Yeah, I don't know when else you will. You need a minion board
you've
here.
got to realize there's no secrets in this mage deck. You've seen it, like, this is the 3rd game. You've never seen anything that pertains to secrets. And the more recent Fel Reaver kind of Chinese mech mages haven't been running secrets.
No. And you're already curved out. Like, if you don't play it now, you're not playing it till at least turn 7.
The light does not disturb.
Yep, so we see the Tempo Kazan, and it looks like
Let's see
Dan's
if
gonna
the
try
luck can get on his side here.
Yep,
Yeah.
this is a lot of RNG. He's had a lot of bad RNG today.
He got it.
Oh, wow.
That's
Sniped.
killer.
Yep, and that was a quick play. And Owl not going to do too much here. It looks like we'll see
Not
Belch
yet.
here.
He's going to be easily... He's going to deal with that very easily.
Yes. Oh.
And
Oh,
Echo's
wow.
gonna
That's a
punish, so
great
he can
pickup.
get the fireball down here.
Don't know if I'd do that.
Well, Dan's just going to put his faith in the Blast Mage. It worked once. It
worked again?
Wow.
Dan is efficient as anything. But how is he going to over... the high main actually isn't even that great here. A little slow.
It is slow.
But I don't know exactly what else he
Oh,
has.
wow. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
It
it really
looks like-
fills out his curve. It brings in the synergy. We've already seen Unleash.
I've never seen Echo of Medivh in a mech mage before, but I see exactly why they have it.
Yeah, and right as Dan was running out of steam, it looks like he's going to be able to refill that hand, and Gideon
And he's still at
is
30
gonna
health.
have to owl here, right?
Yeah. I think you're going to see Owl, Eaglehorn Bow, and Freezing Trap.
I mean, you really want... He can't remove all the mechs, so he knows that another Blast Mage can come down here.
Yeah, maybe you see both scientists.
So we see the bow. The bow will probably go on the 2-3, and that's going to be frozen forever if he doesn't kill... Yeah, the Chugger's got to...
Oh, another Chugger's coming down.
That's true. And
Oh,
Dan,
boy.
I'd kill the Mana Worm here.
Dan hasn't used any burn, so he's getting to that stage where burn can just kill you. I agree. I killed the Mana Worm here. Like, I think he's dead to just like crossbolt fireball. Well, I think he's just dead now.
There we
9
go.
plus, yeah, he's dead. That's exact lethal. And by exact lethal, I am way off. But whatever, Dan able to slip it out, and the Echo Medivh, odd pick, but it works out, and I'm sure we're gonna get a very relieved Dan in the THL studio in just a second. That was crazy game, really well played by both players. What are your guys' thoughts, starting with Cassidy?
Oh, yeah, just a really well played game by Dan. Definitely had a finely tuned mage list there that all of the little decisions that he made throughout, like the Echo of Medivh, really paid off. It felt like it was a really well played series. He struggled a little bit, but I think he played it extremely well, and he deserved the win that he got.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about
I
you, Sam?
agree. I think it's kind of funny that the Echo of Medivh did nothing that game. It looked like it did something, but he didn't actually cast any of the spells in there.
It's true.
That's
maybe,
true.
Maybe it just
Oh, there he is.
intimidated his opponent into...
Well,
like,
it went from a one-card hand to a handful of good stuff.
Exactly. So he made his opponent have to trade off. That was the big upside of that. Because if you know that your opponent only has one card in hand, right?
You can go face.
You can go face, or you're not going to have to clean up as much with the worrying about the Blast Mage. But maybe that influenced how Gideon played. But that Echo of Medivh, he didn't actually need it. Came out in front anyways.
Right, and that Blast Mage play with the timer. I think most of us were looking at the fireball, and when Dan attacked in, we were all like, "Oh, what?" And then,
Nice.
but it worked
Yeah.
once, and sticking with his boy Blastoise, Blast Mage. I don't know.
Well, at first I was on the fence, but the 5-4 against the 3-5 is just such good value. Like, even if I didn't get the battle cry to work, like, I only needed it to hit once because I had the Noitron, but also that's just healing for 3.
Right, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Well played. He really he played very well, but he also seemed to just get the answers at the exact right time.
That Paladin game was
Was rough.
exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a great game. Great way to start off the series. So that is